Welcome to Scare Talk, a horror movie podcast for horror fans. This podcast will cover horror movie reviews, ratings, and rankings. Now for your hosts, Danny and Joel.
Oh man, this is Scare Talk. I am Danny and I'm here with Joel the Jewel.
Hey guys, what's up? Joel the Jewel. All
Oh
right.
yeah. Yeah, you are a jewel wearing
I am
man.
A jewel.
You might have a jewel on your necklace. Oh
That
man.
I totally wear. I definitely wear necklaces.
I'm trying to connect it to the movie that we're about to
yeah.
review. Okay, there is a necklace in this movie.
There is a necklace.
Okay, so we're going to talk about What Lies Beneath from
What
2000.
lies beneath? Yes.
All right, it's a good one. But before we get into that, we're going to review this movie because it's a ghost story. And
Yes.
Joel, you have a ghost story that you need to tell me.
I have multiple actually
all
that
right.
happened at the same place.
Okay. I have been wanting to hear this story for I don't even know how long, but Joel's been saving it for when we do an episode that kind of can connect. So,
Yes.
Since-
So we made it connect by choosing
yes.
What Lies Beneath has nothing to do with like anything besides my story. It doesn't really connect either. It's because it's a ghost story.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's hear your ghost story and then we'll get into the fictional ghost story.
All
Because
right.
yours is real.
It is real.
Yeah.
It is. It actually did happen.
All right.
So this happened a couple months ago. I'm a cook at a grocery store in Idaho, and I was clean. It was about 8:00 at night. I was starting to clean up a little bit, and was sweeping and backed up into something. So I was backing up, and I felt something or someone sort of like try to brush by me, like go behind me, and sort of like I felt a little bit of pressure on the middle part of my back, like someone was trying to, slowly, like maybe gently push me forward as they're trying to go across, go around me, type of a thing. But when I turned around to see who it was, there was literally a little black cart that we used to like push stuff that literally goes to my waist.
Okay.
And this was like in the middle of my back.
Okay.
So it's like there's nothing there that would have touched the back of like my back at all.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that's okay. That's really weird because like I've heard my name several times in this place. But my position, I can always, think that away because in my position, we get a lot of people saying my name because we need certain stuff for our customers. And so I hear my name on a daily basis. And so I'm just like, whenever I hear it, I'm like, did someone say something? And everyone's like, no, I didn't say anything, like kind of thing. I'm like, okay. I hear my name like very clear, but no one's copping up to actually saying.
Are they just talking shit about you or something or what?
No. It just, I don't know what it is. Cause it's like, but it's one of those things where your mind can play tricks on you.
Yeah.
And so I can think those things away because it's your mind's like messing with you.
Sure.
But I don't know. There's something about physical contact that I'm like, I don't know if I can think this one away. Like, I don't know what's like, your mind is definitely capable of a lot of stuff, but it's like, is it capable of making you feel like someone's actually touching you?
Right.
And
I mean,
so
it can, but yeah.
I'm
see what
sure
you
it
mean.
can. It's just, so one of my coworkers was like 10 feet in front of me doing dishes, And I told her what happened, and she's like, "Oh, that's the deli ghost." I was like, "Excuse me, the deli ghost?" And she was telling me about one of our other coworkers who started before I did, and I already had experiences, several experiences. One of them being her name's Shelly, and she closes the stores. She closes the deli at night, and she was doing a walk through one more time to see if she forgot anything. And right before she's about to turn the lights off, she hears something coming from inside the deli that says "Good night, Shelly," like clear as day.
Oh my gosh!
Like that's a voice. Like,
Yeah.
and she said it came from inside the deli, which she did a walkthrough, and there was nobody in there at all. And it's like, okay, well, your name is one thing, but like a phrase,
Yeah.
like that's a little weird too. And I had another experience more recently, and with that experience, sorry, I looked up when I got home. Was like, did anything happen like on the grounds of the grocery store before, or did someone get killed somewhere?
Yeah.
And it literally came up that somebody the week that I moved there, February of 2001, somebody was shot and killed in the parking lot of the grocery store.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And like, it didn't happen inside the store,
Yeah.
but it happened on the grounds of the grocery store, which is weird enough. Like,
Yeah.
that's, the week that I move in, there's already a murder. Like, come on, guys. And now we're like hearing, like, we're hearing things, and, things are like getting physical and stuff like that. So it was like, it was just really weird. And, yeah, apparently, like, this guy, it happened to, like, a younger person. Like, she was going through a divorce, and it was, like, a whole child custody battle. And, the man's, father-in-law, or ex-father-in-law, especially ex now, had him killed because he thought that he was being inappropriate with the kids.
Oh.
Like, he doesn't really have any proof of this, but he was just like, I thought that he was, being inappropriate with the kids. And so he had him killed, which
Wow.
I don't know what that means exactly. Like, do we have hitmen in our area? Like, it's a relatively small town. There's already been a murder and like a hit. Like, all right.
Had him assassinated.
Yeah. Like, we
Wow.
got hitmen in this town. All right, that's kind of cool actually, but it's just like
Watch out.
the guy was like found and like arrested and everything, but it was just weird that happened, and now we've got like things happening inside the deli and everything.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Nice story.
yeah. It was weird. Like, hearing your name is one thing completely,
Yeah.
but when things get like physical and like you actually feel someone trying to move around you, or
Yeah.
something is like touching your back or whatever, that's when things get a little creepy.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I can like, and as far as what happened with my other coworker, like, hearing her name and goodnight, like, that's, unless someone was able to throw their voice to make it sound like it was coming from the deli, but it was actually coming from like somewhere else, which is, not likely. But I guess is a possibility, and she just didn't see him. But yeah, it was just weird.
All right. Yeah. So keep us updated on any developments.
On any more ghost stories?
Yeah. Yeah. Keep us updated on that. I want to know if there's more occurrences.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. If anything happens like that, then I definitely would let you know.
Okay. Cool.
It's just because like I text you later that night about it, but I didn't tell you about the about like what I found online and
Yeah.
everything about
Yeah.
actually there being someone that was killed
Yeah.
on the property of the place that I work.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
And then that other girl's little encounter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right. All right. Well, that's a good intro to the movie, What Lies Beneath. So, Joel,
Oh,
can you
yeah.
tell us who was in this one?
I most certainly can. I only did 2 actors because there's people are in the movie, but for the most part, it's just basically about these 2 people.
Yeah.
This entire movie, and this one stars Harrison Ford. He was in Air Force One, Blade Runner, The Fugitive, and The Devil's Own with Brad Pitt. And this one also stars Michelle Pfeiffer. She was in Scarface, Tequila Sunrise with Mel Gibson, Kurt Russell. That's a good movie. Dangerous Minds and The Prince of Egypt.
Prince of Egypt. All right.
And this was written. So this was very interesting to me because I'm a huge MCU fan, and I'm sure other people will be fans of as well when I say who wrote this. But this was written by Clark Gregg. That name may not sound familiar to a lot of people, but the character of Phil Coulson, who was in the MCU, actually like a character in the MCU from like day one from Iron Man. They ended up killing off his character in the Avengers, but there was like so many people like that character that they ended up bringing him back, and he had his own show, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
So it was kind of crazy that he did the screenplay for this movie and the story. Because the only other 2 things he's ever done is Choke and Trust Me. So yeah, I was like, that's actually kind of cool that seeing like that guy was. This is basically like the only big movie that he like wrote the screenplay for. And it's a good movie to do a screenplay for, so
Yeah.
or to have be a part of in general. And also Sarah Kernochan did the story. So 2 people did the story, and Clark Gregg was the only writer of this movie.
Okay.
She did 9.5 Weeks back in the 80s, a movie called Strike, and Learning to Drive.
All right.
And this was directed by Robert Zemeckis. He is a huge director. He did the Back to the Future trilogy, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Forrest Gump, Flight with Denzel Washington, and most recently he's doing a 2022 version of Pinocchio with Tom Hanks as Geppetto.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
All right. Well, the plot. The wife of a university research scientist believes that her Lakeside, Vermont home is haunted by a ghost, or that she is losing her mind. There you go. So we'll just do spoiler filled here. This movie's been out for 22 years now. So.
Yeah, it's been out long enough. You guys better have watched this movie.
Yeah. This
was in my.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. This was in my top 10 of the 2000s to 2009, I believe. It was up there, too.
Yeah. It definitely was in there. This is... I would have to probably think a little bit... It's definitely at least like top 3 or top 5 PG-13 horror films for me.
Mm-hmm.
All time.
Yeah.
This one feels... like an R-rated movie, but then when you actually look at it, there isn't really any reason to think that it's R, other than, there is some sexual content or whatever, but that's fine for PG-13. But there isn't any like gore or any bad language really, or any nudity.
She says the F word once, but that's...
Does she?
But yeah, she does.
Okay.
But I mean, that's allowed. I think you can say it twice in a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
Before it gets to R.
So this one's definitely on the border there, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, there isn't a ton of language or violence or at least not like blood and gore and stuff, and there isn't any nudity or really too much sexual content. So, it's so good, such a good movie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I love it. I saw this one in theaters.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, there was a theater that has been closed for years now. It actually closed the year this movie came out.
Oh, wow.
So I think this was the last movie I watched there. It was a dollar theater in Sacramento.
Oh, yeah.
Called Birdcage.
Yeah.
And I watched quite a few movies there. It's like the last place that the movies would go to before they went to VHS back in those days. And like Birdcage was a whole thing. They had like it was a movie theater. They had like a bowling alley, and like they had a few places for like they had a frozen yogurt place. It was a whole thing.
Wow.
That they like shut down completely.
Huh. I didn't know it had all that.
Really,
I didn't live in the area to experience that place, sadly.
Yeah.
I didn't get to experience that or Tower Records.
Yeah.
Those were Tower Records, man. I wish
that was a staple of Sacramento for sure.
Yeah, I wish I would have been here for that. So yeah, I saw this on probably VHS. I didn't see it in theaters. And I hadn't seen it in quite a while, so a lot of it, as it's happening, I'm like, oh yeah, like, it kind of like came back to me, especially toward the end of the movie. I was like, wait, what's going to happen here? And then it kind of like gets closer and closer, and I'm like, oh, that's right. That's when this happens. And it's a very memorable movie.
It is.
Super good acting. Well,
I mean,
good acting for the most part.
I was gonna say 2 A-list actors, but I mean, I guess there's a couple of scenes that
some of Michelle Pfeiffer's acting was a little shaky at times for me, and at really random times too, when it's just like regular dialogue. There isn't like much going on. And sometimes with like the 90s and this is 2000, they do like the dubbing. And you can like tell, like she's not saying that. Then they're like, she's saying this in a studio, and then they're putting it into the scene. Yeah. And so sometimes when they do that, it looks like bad acting, but it might just be bad editing or sound design or whatever. So I did notice that a few times where I was like, oh, that just sounds weird. That sounds off.
Well, it didn't win any awards for editing and sound, so.
Yeah. But it should.
Although the sound, for the most part, is really good.
Yeah, it should win awards for score. And some of the cinematography, some of the camera work was really cool. Definitely had a Hitchcock kind of vibe.
It did, especially that last 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Of the movie, when the twist happens.
Yeah.
You find out this is going to be spoiler filled. So Harrison Ford is actually the bad guy. And when you find that out is when the Hitchcock feel comes in.
Yeah, definitely that
and
score.
It's just like, it's so good.
Yeah, that score, Hitchcock sound, and the camera work.
Yeah. And I love how it's very subtle, but I've seen this movie so many times that I'm able to catch it. That every time, this is basically 2 movies put into one. The first half of this movie, she is this nosy neighbor who hears things going on next door, and she gets worried that something might happen to the woman, to the wife.
Yeah.
And after a while, you don't see her anymore, and so she goes and confronts him and everything. But every time she tries to look over the fence, every time she tries to like, see what's going on, she hurts herself every single time.
Yeah.
With that fence. And it's like a very subtle hint that like maybe the ghost is trying to tell you that what's going on next door has nothing to do with this story.
Get over it. Yeah. That's true.
And I feel like because it happens every time, it's not a coincidence. Like this is like something's telling you to leave them alone.
Yeah.
And to focus in on what's actually. Yeah.
I mean, now that you say it, it's like duh, because she does get hurt every time. It's like, dude, you're so clumsy over there at that fence.
Yeah.
And they really make it obvious. Like, she gets hurt, and she gets cut, and it's like it has to, there has to be a purpose for that. It's not just random.
Yeah.
Especially when you do it like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. So. Like every time, maybe don't touch the fence. Like, you seem to hurt yourself that way.
Yeah.
I don't really like how they got themselves out of that situation, though, just because her reasoning didn't add up to me. I don't know.
What do you mean? Explain.
Okay, so the couple of times that they do end up talking to each other, the way the neighbor is explaining like how she's feeling, it makes it sound like she's actually scared for her life. Mm-hmm. So it makes it seem like there actually is something going on next door.
Yeah.
When it all comes out and they have that last talk again, she's talking about it because she loves him so much that when he leaves, like she feels like it was just kind of strange. It was just I forgot exactly what she said in that moment. Uh-huh. But it's like the pain of him leaving is so strong.
Yeah.
That it feels like there's like a part of her that's missing or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it's just like it was for what we witnessed up until that point. It didn't add up to me.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah. Your love is so strong that being apart from each other, I don't know. You guys argued quite a bit in this movie. Yeah. Like I just didn't see that kind of a.
Yeah, that reasoning didn't really add up to the behavior. Yeah. I could see that.
But I mean, it was just like a quick little explanation to just sort of all right, we don't need to focus on them anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, like, okay, and then the real movie happens.
End of the storyline for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, she thinks. Well, she's starting to have these like paranormal experiences, and then of course the neighbors arguing and stuff, and then the woman is just gone, and so she starts to think that these paranormal things that she's seeing, and then she even sees a woman a couple of times. She thinks that it's her.
Yeah.
And then, she finds out that no, this woman is alive, so it's not her.
Yeah.
And so she continues to like do research and stuff and discovers who it is. And then one of my favorite parts is because now at this point she's like, okay, I know who it is. Now I want to like do this seance and everything.
Oh yeah.
And one of my favorite parts is when she gets the locket of hair and we don't see her necessarily do the seance, but she definitely does, because she like turns into her. She like almost becomes like possessed by the ghost.
Yeah.
And while she's holding it, and the switch, like the way she was acting and stuff was completely different. And I thought that was pretty cool and actually pretty creepy. Michelle Pfeiffer can be kind of creepy when she tries to be.
When she wants. Yeah. They actually made fun of that scene in Scary Movie.
Yeah. I remember that.
Or Scary Movie 2, I think. Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah. But but yeah, that scene was pretty cool. And
when she sees herself in the mirror, and she sees basically what happened before there was this car accident that kind of, I guess, wiped her memory of it. But she is like on top of Harrison Ford, and she's like, I think she's suspecting something. And he's like, what? Or who? Or something. And she's like, she like leans in, and like the lighting goes on her face, and she's like, your wife.
Yeah, and her face changes.
Oh man, yeah, so good. And then he like throws her off, like tosses her, and then I think that's when she kind of snaps back to herself, and she starts to remember exactly what happened there.
She drops the piece of hair when he does that, which is the part that's possessed.
yeah. So then, that scene is cool. I like that scene.
Yeah. I thought you were going to talk about the first time they did a seance with the friend.
Oh, there's that too. Yeah.
And then like you slowly see the door start to open.
Yeah.
And then the dog comes barging in, but he comes barging in through a different door.
Right, yeah. That was kind of weird, yeah. It's like,
and they didn't even notice that.
Yeah, how is that the dog? Like, I don't think that's the dog.
No, yeah, that wasn't the dog. That was something else coming through. But they're just like, Cooper, like, what are you doing? Like, no, you focus on that door that was slowly opening before.
Yeah, that was funny.
Oh, man.
So then she and confronts him because now she remembers, you were having this affair with this woman, and this is the woman who died. Like, what the hell? Like, okay, we need some answers here. And he's like, he admits to having the affair, and then he says that he broke it off, and she was, threatening to kill herself and all this, and then she just disappeared.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of the okay, that's it. And but that there's more to the story as the audience. You kind of know that there's more. So one thing I always will remember this movie for too is I thought it was over at one point. I thought the movie ended
on that boat
when they get on the boat. Yeah.
When
they get on the boat, and you kind of
just the start of Act 3.
Yeah, exactly. They burn the locket of hair. It's like, okay, everything's resolved. She's not here anymore. The ghost has passed or whatever. And we're going to get on this boat and go sailing. But she wants to go to this place that her friend told her that she saw her husband at with this woman.
Yeah.
And when she goes to this place, he acts like he doesn't know what the hell she's talking about as far as like what this place is or whatever. Like, he's never been there. So she knows, okay, there's something else going on here.
Yeah.
And that's when she starts to put more pieces together and finds out that he killed her. And then there's the battle.
There is. Yeah. It's the Hitchcock end of the movie.
Yeah, so good. So many memorable parts. Yeah. That's what triggered my memory the most, was that third act where I'm like thinking of, okay, something's gonna happen right here. What is it? And then as it gets closer, I'm like, oh, that's right. He didn't call 911. He called 411.
Yeah. And what I love about that scene is when, so she gets scared earlier in the movie because she, like, the radio comes on all of a sudden and she's like hearing voices, and so she goes to where Harrison Ford's working, and they are talking about this chloroform type of stuff while she's there. Yeah,
that's right.
And then they bring it all around to the end of that movie.
That's right.
I was like, that's smart. That's good. That's good writing right there. Yeah. To talk about something that's,
it's like a
if you were making this type of thing, that you would be talking about it with your with your peers and everything.
Yeah.
With your coworkers and stuff. But then to bring that back to the end of the movie was just
because
that's good.
It gives reason as to why he would have that in the first place. Because why would just this guy have chloroform in the house? Like, it's just, I mean, it's not like he's a serial killer. I mean, probably not a serial killer. But, you
have to kill a couple more people for that. But you never know. He could have.
But who just has that lying around, So being that he's a scientist and all that,
and they talk about how long it lasts for. Like 3 to 5 minutes. Sometimes less, like depending on the subject. So it's like that's
okay. They mentioned that. I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they did.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a key part right there. Of the end. The fact that it didn't last long enough is very important.
Yeah.
So he's saying that he's calling 911. He fake calls 911. He's like, "Hey, can you send an officer out here?" Okay, yeah, bye. And so she realizes that, and that part, one of the better jump scares of the movie for sure, is when she picks up the phone and presses redial, and it's 411, and it's like, "Oh, information. What do you need?" or whatever. And he's right behind her, and the lightning flashes, and he's right there. But he was supposed to be in the shower. That was good. That's when he grabs her with the cloth, the chloroform, and all that. So
yeah, it's just an amazing movie all the way around. I love it. It's got its slow burn moments. Like it's not fast paced throughout the entire movie.
It's over 2 hours.
It's like 2 hours and 10 minutes long. So but if you know us by now, you know that slow burns are kind of our thing. It builds the atmosphere, it builds the tension, and that's definitely played to its full effect at the end of this movie. And it's just an amazing movie.
So he knocks her out, puts her in the tub, and he's basically going to drown her in there because she can't move. And so he's filling the tub up with water, and he makes a phone call to, I think, her friend. He's like, "Oh, we got in a big fight." And he leaves a message. "We got in a big fight. I'm going to go sleep at the lab tonight.
The office.
Yeah, can you come check on her in the morning?" So he's just going to leave her to die and drown in the tub. And this part too, I always will remember. He sees that she's wearing a necklace because she got it out of this like little treasure box thing, and which was the other girl's necklace. And so he's like, he kind of picks her up, and she's just like limp. He like sits her up and looks at the back of her neck because the necklace, the like heart, like got turned around and is on the back of her neck. And so he's looking at it, and then he like flops her head back, and it's this like dead woman, the girl, the ghost or whatever, her dead body, and it freaks him out. And he slips, hits his head on like the sink and everything, and it knocks him out. And at that point is when he was gonna give her more of the chloroform or like the sleeping pills. He had like a pill he was gonna give her. And so because he got knocked out there, she, it bought her more time to, unclog the drain and everything. Yeah. So that was awesome. That's a good jump scare right there.
That was a good jump scare for sure.
I'll always remember that part too. And all the camera work with her in the truck too was really cool. I liked all the way it was like zooming around, and like it was like a still camera while she's driving. I don't know. It just looked very different from what you see in most films. A lot of good use of mirrors too with
for sure,
with the camera work. Good stuff.
Yeah, that music when she's going for the keys to the truck or to the car, and she it's all, of course it's on his body.
Yeah.
Or no, she's going for the phone that's
The
under
phone.
him.
Yeah.
It was the phone. She has the keys. She's going for the phone, and his hand twitches.
Yeah.
Which is like another pretty cool little jump scare there.
Yeah.
You figure something's gonna happen, but nothing really happens except for that twitch. And so she runs out the door, and then the music starts. The Hitchcock music starts just as he's opening his eyes.
Yeah,
And then
that part was
it's,
cool.
oh man.
Yeah, the like violin,
Yeah.
screeching and everything. Yeah, super good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really like takes a real turn. Like it's kind of this slower ghost story mystery kind of movie until that third act.
Yeah.
And it's like this tense horror thriller.
Yeah.
And
it
definitely
really
has
is.
that Hitchcock vibe. Yeah, I wish they made more movies like this.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It was
Come on,
very
Robert
well-
Zemeckis, you're still making movies.
Yeah.
Make another.
Was this
Elijah
based on
Wood
a
type movie?
book? No, it wasn't. You already went over
I
the
I
writers.
don't think it was. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it was just like an original idea.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then she's driving a truck that has a boat attached to it, and they're going over the bridge, which they have mentioned at least once in this movie that you can't make any phone calls until you reach the center of the bridge, because it's just the signal is out until then. And just as she's getting a hold of somebody, the lightning flashes and you see Harrison Ford in the back.
Yeah.
Just like breaking the window.
Yeah.
Because at one point, when you think that she's escaped him, she's driving away and it focuses on a shoe that was fell off of the boat. And I remember like the first couple of times I saw this, I was like, that's kind of a weird thing to just focus on like that. But it's like it could have been him jumping on the boat.
Yeah, it was his
and
shoe.
just like moving. Yeah, it could be his shoe or it could be a shoe that he just tossed off the boat.
Right.
And they crash into the water, and what was that, like a row that was
on the boat
through the window?
Yeah.
Something
like
went through the
part
window.
of the sail or something.
Windshield.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she, he's drowning her, and she moves the sail or whatever it was that was in the windshield, and it falls onto a box or a casket of some sort. And up floats the body of the woman that he killed. Yeah. But that scene was creepy, though. It was just like, you see her decomposed body floating up.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, it turns and looks at him.
Yeah.
Or no, it wasn't a decomposed body yet. It was her, like, it was the body of her. It was like as if she was still alive, like floating up. And then she turns and like looks at him. Yeah. And that's when her body starts to decompose as he's like, as she's grabbing his arm, and oh, it's so good.
So good. So good. Yeah. The ghost was definitely trying to warn her and help her.
Throughout the entire movie.
Throughout the movie. Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Man.
Yeah, good stuff. Can't really say much negative. Like I said, some of the either sound design or acting was a little off to me. Mm-hmm. Like you said, that explanation that the neighbors had for their behavior was a little weird. I didn't really catch it because I knew that, that their story was a red herring. It's not important necessarily.
Yeah.
So maybe I didn't like
didn't
care.
really care about their little
Yeah. their little reasoning, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I can't. There's not really much more I can really knock this movie for, though.
No, yeah, there definitely isn't for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like I was saying, my biggest issue is probably the explanation given.
Yeah.
Just like it just didn't add up to me. I don't know. I'm sure people are like that in real life, but there was just something off about that.
Yeah.
I was like, is that what we're going with? All right. Well,
Right.
fine. We won't need to see these people again anyway, so whatever.
Yeah. All right.
But,
well, let's give it a rating.
Yeah. All right. This one is getting a 95 for me.
Okay. Awesome.
I
yeah, I'm going 93.
All right. I was thinking about 93.
We'll do 94. We'll do 94.
94. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I've
haven't
this
seen
movie
it as many times as you, I don't think.
Yeah. I've seen it a million times. You would think by now, though, I'd probably give it a lower score because I've seen it so many times. But
Yeah.
it's just like this is one movie I could watch probably multiple times a year
Yeah.
and never get tired of.
Yeah.
It's just
Harrison
Just
Ford
a-
did a good job as the bad guy.
as the bad guy. Yeah,
Yeah,
he did. He needs
especially
to
when
play
he-
more roles like that.
Yeah, when he turned, he didn't really change much,
Yeah,
but once you know that he's the bad guy, then he's just creepy.
yeah,
But then he's been that way the whole movie, so it's like,
yeah. He has
okay,
been.
he is, and then when like you watch it the second time or whatever, then you're like, okay, this guy's always been kind of weird throughout the
Yeah.
whole movie. It's just there's just something
Yeah.
off about him. So yeah, really cool.
Yeah. All right, 94, 95.
Yeah,
those
that's
are
good.
solid scores.
Yeah, very good movie.
Mid 90s there. Oh yeah.
All right, so yeah, if you haven't seen that one, we just ruined it all, but go ahead and watch it because
Watch it anyway.
Yeah, definitely
Because
worth it.
it is. It's an amazing movie. Even if we have just ruined the ending for you, like entirely, like scene by scene, we kind of
Yeah,
from the moment that they find out, well, from the moment of the boat
yeah,
when they're on the boat together, from like we've just ruined every single scene leading up to the very end of the movie. But hey, it's an amazing movie anyway. So
Yeah.
go watch
definitely
it.
an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, go find us on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and we are also on YouTube, so you can find
Yes, we
all
are.
of our stuff on there if you're not listening on there right now. And yeah, so it's just audio, but there's some pictures to go with each video, so you can check out Joel's photography. And
I took all those pictures.
yes, and yeah, that's it. All right. This has been our episode on What Lies Beneath from 2000, and this has been Scare Talk.
Sleep tight.
Don't let your wife bite.